Now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family, and welcome back. This is Riis the Ruler, and I'm here with your Chicagoland area sports, traffic, and weather update. The time is now 7:05 a.m. Over to sports. The Chicago White Sox in Detroit for a makeup game against the Detroit Tigers. Benches would clear. Eloy would hit a 2-run homer as the Sox hold off the Tigers 8-7. Now over to traffic. On the Kennedy, O'Hare to the Loop is up to 38 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 24. On the Eden, inbound from Deerfield till Exchange is 47 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 20. The Loop is 9 minutes. Back out to Thorndale will be 37. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 50 minutes. Outbound will be 34. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan is 39 minutes. 29 minutes back out to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 18 minutes to the Loop. 16 minutes back to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive is locked in at 8 minutes all around. That's 55th to Jackson. Jackson to 55th, the north side, Randolph to Bryn Mawr, and Bryn Mawr back to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 65 and mostly sunny. Today will be a high of 72 with a low of 61. I'm Riis the Ruler. Now here's Valerie on the Maze Jackson Show.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
All right, take me out real quick.
And I think of all the things, what you're doing. And in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Oh, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things, what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me.
You are listening to the You are listening to the Mace Jackson Show. Hey Riis, can I get the top of the hour though? Can I get the Ness? Huh? What's the matter? You played it already?
No, it was coming. You brought yourself in. It's like
I thought you was doing...
seconds left.
Okay, go ahead. You got it. It's cool.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
If you ain't trying to help us, don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now of the politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Mace and Riis and Ruthie and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed us all.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my co-host, Miss Ruthie Moore, and my man, DJ Riis the Ruler. Wait, it's not your DJ and Riis the Ruler. Your name is DJ Riis the Ruler. It's not like, you know, DJ isn't your title.
It's Juan.
Juan. Like Juan.
That's when that Mexican takeover happened. I'm like, y'all know, hey,
Juan.
You could be Afro-Latino.
Yeah,
No.
Why can't he be?
Ruthie, where that work at? Where that work at in Chicago? Oh, it did work with them dudes that... Let me stop. I'm going to stop. All right, y'all. It's the Mace Jackson Show. I am your host, Mace Jackson, DJ Riis the Ruler, and my co-host, Ruthie Moore, who is vested. Not like as an invested interest, but vested like...
Man, you know they ain't giving out pensions no more.
Straight up. I heard you. Roger said he got one.
He vested.
Ah!
He need to go ahead and sign it over.
Ruthie.
All right, I'll take him to the bank. You know, people be like, oh, yeah, I'll drive you to the bank.
You like, nah, I'm like, literally, I want to go in with you. I'm going to go in with you. All right, y'all. So I was traumatized at the age of 14 by seeing one of my 14-year-old classmates who was involved in a serious relationship with a obviously 25-year-old man. To me, that was wrong. But apparently, in some cases, it's acceptable. So what I want to know is at what age do we give, I don't want to say is it accountable, but like, does a woman is she an adult? Like, can make adult decisions? Like, not the kind of adult decisions like post-abuse decisions, but like if everything was all hunky-dory, right? And there was no, at what age does a woman get to date a grown man? If that makes sense.
It is only women, like.
Yeah, this I want to deal with the women part of it today. We can do all the. I'm not trying to be fair to nobody. I want to have a conversation about women, young girls, and this whole concept. Because when I used to go to the joint, like to the tailor shop around prom, I would be like, golly, you gotta turn that down, dog. It's loud. I'll be like, golly, like y'all up in here, like. And the girls would be, and the dudes would be, and I ain't gonna lie. I mean, the girls would be like, boom, bow, pow, ping, ping, like look grown. Mm-hmm. But I'll be like, and it was an accepted practice. So help me understand it. I'ma start with Westside Riis because I know your opinion is gonna be interesting to say the least, and then I'm gonna let Ruthie take us to school, and then we're gonna go to the phone lines. Riis, what age? What age, Riis? Move that from place though. Oh, dog. See, you see, nah. Okay, so that getting the alpha man. The alpha man, his alpha comes out. Look at his alpha come out. No, really, because it's like we're having communication. So you slid it right into your face. Put it over here.
So I mean, I think like 16 for sure. Like maybe a little younger, but like at 16, you should like definitely know. Like if you 16 and you date like somebody like 20 or something. I mean, if you 14, but you should know that. You should know it. But it happens though. Like you said, we all know one person that dates an older guy. You know, we all know a person. So is it right now? But I'm gonna say 15, 16.
I don't got an age per se. But okay. I do, but...
Is it you got a floor, though? You got to have a floor. You got to have a floor. At least okay. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that a nice majority of those types of relationships, though, are like they're providing something to each other. So, use your imagination, but it's like like you said, they was inside of the place buying the dresses. Like it's,
it's a trade-off.
Yeah. So, but we can talk about the value of whatever the trade is or whatever, but I think it's it also could be emotional. Like it might not just be financial. It could be emotional. Like
I think it's for the woman.
For both parties. For both parties involved. Like, so I don't know.
Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. What age is it acceptable for a young woman to date an older man? Let's say for tickles and giggles.
Oh, is it acceptable for them to date? Is that I thought you said like at what age should you be like accountable? Like
accountable.
Accountable.
Accountable and acceptable. Because I think I would put them almost in the same space.
Oh, then at no age should you be unless you grown. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not grown, then you should not be dating.
Come on, Ruthie, talk to me.
Man, you should not be dating.
Why can't you do it? I feel like this is
you're 15 years
2 days in a row.
Well, I don't see how this is the same conversation. This is a different conversation to me. Ruthie's saying this is 2 days in a row culture. But look, this is all I'm saying.
This be hitting home. You see that? Historical trauma. This be eliciting my PTSD. I'm going to drink my coffee. But you know what? I think historically speaking, just women, not just black women, but women, young girls in general, have been getting married off to old men. Like that's like it's a and we could talk about why. Like, I mean, it serves different points in history. Like, and so if we talking about like marriages, right? Like marrying a very young.
I'm talking about R. Kelly.
That's what he did. That's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like it's the same practice that's been happening. It's just that the outcomes are different. So it would be different if you was 14 and then your family was arranging a marriage for you for some grown, you know what I'm saying, for some grown up, then it's like other things in place. Like it's probably an exchange of like some type of property. Like it's like it's like a business deal, So again, I think it's just two parties seeking something. Now we can talk about what that something is. Like, what are each of the people getting out of something like that? Like, what are the benefits to an old man marrying a young girl or a young woman, even being with one, even conquering one? Like, wait,
back up. Say that again. Say that part again.
I don't even know which part. Like, why? Okay, so let's talk. Like, what is the psychology behind an older man being with a younger woman? Like, it's levels to it. One perspective is she might be easier to chop down because her mental ain't there. So you got some men who want to try to prey and finesse because they can't get it from people their own age. Like, that's one part of it. Like, and then you touched on, like, well, at what age is the woman or the young girl accountable? Like, what is she trying to get? Is she trying to get her a prom date? Like, what is she getting out of this? What's lacking in her life that she needs? Is it financial? Is it emotion? Is she looking for a daddy figure? Like, what is it? Like, is she just emulating what she see on the TV? Like, possibly. So it's a very, like, and then we talk about the whole R. Kelly aspect of it. And then the whole idea around how young black girls are seen as older than they are, not just in physical appearance, but also like mental capacity. But these are children. Like, and in today's society, it is unacceptable for old people to be married to young people. Like, it's against the law.
Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's start there. Let's go to Cassandra. Cassandra, you're on the Mace Jackson Show. At what age are girls accountable for their actions? And I'm going to add something to it. At what age should we hold people accountable for their actions? I'm sure plenty of 16-year-olds who think that they know everything. I'm going to let you come back. You want to say something before we take the call? Cassandra, you're on the Mace Jackson Show. Cassandra? Is she gone? Any more callers? Give us a call, 872-259-7474.
If we gonna have this conversation, we gotta have it also in the context of just straight up the dysfunctional relationship that we have based on that. Because I think that's a big part of this.
That's what I feel like is to me, that's where it starts almost. In my estimation, that's where the conversation really starts. That's where it originates. That is where I don't think that the 20-plus-year-old man that wants a 14-year-old is looking for emotional stability. I think that he is growing his own flower.
Your callers from the Collins Studio web interface.
He's growing his own flowers.
I don't know, because he could be looking for a relationship in which he can psychologically control somebody. Because remember, we talked about yesterday how black men don't necessarily have control over their lives in some way. So what ways do black men express power? Sometimes that is through sex.
I can agree with that.
And it's easier to finesse a young mind.
To have sex, though. Like, I feel like the bottom line of that part, though, like if you doing the 14-25, it's because you are trying to grow yourself up your own. It's like, and I'll give you the perfect example, Celine Dion. Remember, Celine Dion was married to that 85-year-old dude who saw her when she was 14 and was like, I'm not going to touch you till you turn 18, but at 18, I'm going to marry you and you finna have and it was all
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I got to say it. I got it on my list. And I was thinking a few things that like my perspective has changed on a little bit. Do you remember? Here's what used to be one of my favorite lines. You may be young, but you're ready to learn. And that to me, we all sang it. You probably like, what's up? You know what I'm talking about?
That's
Keith
Beyonce.
Sweat.
Ain't that? All those
Look at Beyonce. No.
We just talking about
Keith
Beyonce.
Sweat. Right, but Keith Sweat. So I parents, at what age do parents be like, it's up?
Stop playing, because our family structures are broken. Stop playing. You already know our family structures are broken. So it's war out here. It's war out here. And it is, people prey on people because they already know. People prey on people. And I want to make it a one-sided conversation and say men prey on women because it works both ways. But in this context, a grown A man know what he doing when he looking at younger women. Like super young. I ain't talking about 13, 14. Come on now.
See, y'all, I'm just telling y'all, like, and I think we doing some funny stuff here because I think y'all like. I'm not. Let's move this into reality because I think we ain't talking about you was 18 and she was 25.
No,
and that's not what we talking about. So don't try and make it all glamorous. Don't try to make it. That's not what we talking about. We talking about a 14-year-old girl, and I'm a bridge the gap into this conversation to the R. Kelly thing. 14-year-old girl. Obviously not full-grown woman, according to sources. A 30-year-old man is wearing her out. Literally. That to me is unexcusable. I don't care what, and in my mind, I gotta tell you, 18 is the floor, and I don't even believe that's a real floor. Why are you doing that?
Cause this is it's so many different layers to all of this. Like sexual abuse, like trauma, like all of this stuff factors in because sometimes those young girls that fall victim to those older men, they done already been preyed on by men in their family, men in their friend circles. And so by the time the old man come along, they already done spent the block.
So this is what I gotta, and part of this where I guess I don't. This even like I couldn't even be in the tailor shop, if that makes sense. Like I feel like somewhere in this process we got to be able to be like, damn, that's a baby. You know, I told you I'm the dude at the strip club that's like, I don't go because I be like, are you okay? Do you need to talk to someone? And I feel like whose job though? Like, where do you see it? Where do you intersect with it? Where do you be like, nah, dog, this ain't cool? Like, I used to be at the tailor shop like, y'all, this ain't right. And I don't feel like, I was looking at these comments on this R. Kelly thing, and I was just like, where is the compassion for us? Like, I got the fact that he is abused, he got issues, he got whatever. But I just can't get over the lack of compassion damn, she was like, these kids are like kids. And I realize that a 16-year-old can convince you that they think they know everything in the world. But if you look back at what you think you know at 16, you thought you knew at 16 compared to what you know now, regardless of how smart you was regardless. And I don't feel like there's any, like, somebody got to give you the runway to be like, okay, you got to learn to grow up, but we can't just jump on that. Like, you can't, there are going to be a lot of young women who probably are physically attractive, probably are fully developed. We talked about it yesterday, but where is the time when we be like, nah, dog, that ain't cool?
Our nature is out of whack. Because remember how yesterday we talked about how like you know, the young people engaging in can I say sex?
Yeah.
They engaging in sex earlier and earlier, like not even just black kids, but all young people are engaging in sex earlier. And so as a community, like as a culture, like what kind of safeguards and things do we have in place? And the number one, not the number one, but one of the top 5 safeguards that protect young girls is a father or a man figure that's not going to take advantage of you. Somebody that's looking out for you. And that's what's missing. So instead of protecting the girls, the ones that's supposed to be protecting is doing some of the victimizing. So we leaving our kids to kind of fend for themselves. We leaving our girls to fend for themselves. And so if you want a nice prom dress, like if you want to, you know, get your hair and your nails done, like, and I know this stuff sounds like it's basic, like you gonna sleep with him to get your nails done, but this is where we at. It might be for something less than that. For a nice restaurant meal, like after school or something. Like you need your school shoes. So what, you gonna go to school looking bummy and have all these people talking about you and stuff? Like we know how rampant bullying is in our culture. We know how social media is so pervasive. So what, you gonna go to school looking like a bum? Like you ain't finna get your eyelashes and all that stuff done. You about to be out here looking bogus. Like you can't get those things that you value from home. Somebody ain't got the bread for it, so how you gonna get it? What's one way you could get it? I'm finna finesse it out of this dude. That's probably how they looking at it. Whereas the dude looking like, all I gotta do is buy her some shoes. I'm finna finesse her out of her, you know, relations.
All right. We're going to take a break. Yeah, we're going to come back and continue the conversation.
It's too much. And just to answer Mario, like, you know, we kind of talked about it yesterday. Like we know this is a one-sided conversation this morning, but we kind of making it that way on purpose. So we not neglecting, you know, we not, you know, trying to say that
there ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just do this real quick?
Yeah.
Like, hey, cuz, like, I'm not suggesting, we know that R. Kelly was abused. We know that black boys have been abused, etc. We don't know. Let's stay focused here. This ain't the what about me. This ain't the, like, yo, and I'm not tripping on you. But, like, hey, cuz, like, real talk. That 14-year-old girl on the tape, that tape got sold. And sold millions of copies. And I was just thinking about this whole thing. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. The broadcast is going to go down again because I'm about to try and change the sound settings so we can stop the choppiness. So I'm going to ask you all to come right back. If the broadcast goes away, we're going to continue the conversation, but I'm going to stop it because I'm going to try and address the choppiness via the switcher. Give us, but we'll be right back. Also, keep Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. I guess I still see the kids as babies. Like, even if they put eyelashes on, even when they popping out, even when they starting to, right? And I feel like those are our babies. Now, I'm not going to ever say that. I mean, I'm a man. But I think there's men, and the men's job is to make sure that the baby's right. You get them the point that they can go flap their wings. And I'm just saying, imagine every girl that snuck out and put on a dress and dressed up like they mamas and daddies didn't want them to, and all of that good stuff. Mm-hmm. That does not mean that we turn into the chicken hawks. And I do think that it's the reprogramming, because I do kind of think of just the way we think of hunting season. Mm-hmm. And like the prey tends to be like the low rung prey is the slow, dumb, drunk, abused, and the weak prey on that. Right? And I feel like you gotta get a baby the opportunity to stretch your wings with I
remember somebody saying that the protection of black women and children is not every black man's responsibility. That they supposed to be like in your family in order for you to expect that level of protection.
Oh, I remember when that happened. You was mad than a mug. That's our warriors. That's the same mentality.
Well, no, that's what I know, but it just made me think about what you said in terms of, well, then that mean that you prayed in, like, because if I don't see you as my brother or my sister, if I see you as prey, then I'm gonna prey on you. So I think more of us got to look at each other as a tribe, as a family, but because we kind of divided in that way, like legit, like you pray. I
feel like you shouldn't be prey at the crib. Like, you could be prey 100%. Outside.
I agree with you 100%. So I worked in research for many, many years, and as part of that, what we had to do was do like intakes. Intake questionnaires. So you asking like all these questions. And this particular program I was working for was with young girls who had like health challenges. Like, you might have been like hospitalized for mental health, or you might have been diagnosed with some type of mental health issue. In doing these hundreds of intakes, right, I started noticing these different like similarities. And the majority of them similarities was sexual trauma and early sexual debuts. And
it's early sexual debuts, what that means?
Early sexual debuts is like you were exposed to sex at an early age through some type of medium, right? I think the majority way nowadays is probably through like technology and things like that, but like, it's early sexual debuts and some type of sexual trauma experienced in adolescence and childhood. And a lot of young black girls suffer from emotional and sexual trauma and early sexual debuts at the hands of the people that are supposed to be protecting them.
I won't take a break. I'm going to ask y'all all to come back. We want to stop the choppiness, so we're going to try and deal with that real quickly. Come right back, because this is a very, in my mind, important conversation. We'll be back after these messages. This is the Maze